Welcome back, guys. Today I'm gonna be reacting to another video featuring Candace Owens, and this video is titled "Candace Owens triggers white liberal meltdown." All right, guys. As usual, I'm gonna be listening to it while giving my perspective and trying to make this video as short as possible. All right, guys. Let's get into this.
Was there ever a point in history where white privilege did exist?
Yeah, I suppose when we lived in a country, if you were black, you were not allowed to go into certain places, right? I suppose you could say again, and I guess that wouldn't be white privilege. You would call that Nordic privilege in the progressive era, when there were signs that said Irish need not apply. So that is white on white, a lack of a privilege. Of course, there's examples in the history of the world where you would have been privileged if your skin was white, especially this country and others as well. But today, no, white privilege is...
When did it end?
Over time, beginning with the civil rights era, it's not a particular incident or moment, but multi-generations.
First of all, Candace Owens' point is it's correct, I would say, in my opinion, because there was a time when being white was considered the ideal thing to be, and of course, you can't. It's not like you have the choice of deciding what race you come into the world as. So if you happen to be not white during those times, it was basically bad luck for you, but that was the times. So I'm gonna say yeah, white supremacy existed during those times. Let's see what they're gonna say next.
The country became significantly less.
When did it end?
Over time, beginning with the civil rights era, it's not a particular incident or moment, but multi-generations, the country became significantly less racist. I would say after Reconstruction, after the Civil War, after, when we had desegregation, fought the Democrat institutional racism, we fought back against the KKK, when the Civil Rights Act was signed, when blacks were allowed to participate in Major League Baseball, the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, serve an elected office. All those things contributed to the end of what used to be privilege in society, white privilege.
You said less still somewhat racist?
No, do you just have questions? I think...
You said you wanted a dialogue. We're having a
Oh, okay.
conversation.
No.
It's the least racist country in the world.
No, America is not a racist country.
Is it still racist? So
No.
when did it end?
No.
There's
You
certain...
can't answer the question.
It ended when it's...
I just did.
Okay,
No, you didn't. You said less
I will
racist.
answer.
I'm
I'll
asking
answer.
when
I'm
did it
answering
end?
you. When it stopped being systemic, when there stopped being laws in place that stopped
That's
me
a
as
great
a
answer.
black person doing what you're able to do as a white...
I sense a tense atmosphere right now. These liberals, when they come to ask questions to these people that advocate for the conservative part of the political arena, they come with a kind of demeanor that shows that they come to make trouble, like they come to have that gotcha moment. They come to shame you, to prove a point that they are intelligent, and either you are stupid or you are just obviously denying facts that are in front of you. That's one thing about these liberals, and it's obvious that Charlie Kirk here is not very, very, very calm. He's let me say he's a little bit triggered. he doesn't like the way he doesn't like the things he senses from the liberal guy asking the question. So let's see what's going on next.
Okay,
No, you didn't. You said less
I will
racist.
answer.
I'm asking when
I'm
did it
answering
end?
you. When it stopped being systemic, when there stopped being laws in place that stopped
That's
me
a
as
great
a
answer.
black person doing what you're able to do as a white man.
No, I'm not asking. Systemic racism does not...
Yes, you just asked
about
me to
the
define when it stopped being, when this
What about
country
what?
stopped being racist. That's the answer.
When?
That I can't give you the exact date and time and hour. I'm telling you
Give
when.
me the decade.
What do you mean?
Mid-1970s.
Yeah, about right.
Mid-1970s.
Yeah.
So mass incarceration affecting black and brown communities disproportionately
Because
to their
they
population.
committed more crimes.
They
Yeah,
committed
well,
more-
yeah.
As to why? Why did they...
Guys, this is a very, 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 very sensitive topic in the USA, I notice, because they always bring it out. Why do black people always end up in jail more than, disproportionately more than white people or other races. You just have to look at the culture, man. I'm a black person. I was born in Nigeria. Now I live in Europe. I understand. I don't even live in America, but I understand that the number one problem of black people in America is the culture that they celebrate. They should just stop celebrating a culture that promotes gang violence, that promotes sexual, I don't even know how to call it, everything that the black culture stands for in America right now. It's just, there are things that are inappropriate, things that don't help to promote good things in a society. So when you see black people ending up in jail, a lot more than white people or Hispanic people, just first of all talk about the culture, because they like to ignore the fact that more black people die in the hands of black people than they die in the hands of people of other races. Why do they always just look at Chicago, look at Jacksonville in Florida? I don't even understand why they keep denying these facts. The black culture, the things that they promote, the things that they celebrate in the black community of America, those are the things that are causing the main problems. I don't know why they like to go back to racism and point on that. There is no systemic racism. I don't know why they don't want to get this.
Commit more crimes
because we ripped apart the family.
Because of their economic situation. I'm not fucking talking to you, dude.
Why are liberals so...
Now, does he have to be that condescending? Doesn't have to, but these are liberals. This is how they talk when they talk to conservatives, because they believe they hold the moral high ground. So when they talk to you as a conservative, they like to belittle you, just make you feel stupid. They believe that when it comes to morality, they are at the top and you are so below and so irredeemable that they can't even talk to you with respect. That's just the problem with liberals. I don't know why.
So angry. I can't figure out why you're
angry.
Why are you angry?
I'm not a liberal,
right now?
so stop assuming my political
Okay,
affiliation.
No, bro, you are a liberal.
Well, you just came out of nowhere and just start cursing.
No, you invited me up here, raised my hand,
I know,
and
but
you said,
I'm saying
please
you
come
just
up
turned
here.
around
No,
and you're
stop
cursing
trying
at
to change
someone. Why don't you calm down? It's just a conversation.
I'm perfectly calm. I can curse
You
while
don't have
being
to turn
calm.
around and curse anyone behind you.
I can.
You're okay?
It's a free country, right?
Okay. No, but I'm saying that it's not necessary to have this dialogue for you to turn around and be angry. I do always remark, and I am going to suspect that you are liberal, because right now you're trying to sell me
I'm not liberal.
You're selling me my own
said it.
oppression, so that's a very liberal
I'm not
stance.
liberal.
Usually when a white man stands up and tells me that, yes, this is a racist country and is oppressed, they do tend to be liberal. Only liberals try to sell me my oppression.
But I'm not.
But okay, I'm not going to assume your
Thanks.
political ideology. So here's
I do.
I mean, to answer your question for me, when the system stops being racist and there's nothing stopping us, and you brought up the prison rates, and you said something that was actually really important. You said it's because their communities have been economically depressed. So that would not be because of the color of your skin. That's economic privilege. If you ask me whether or not I believe in economic privilege, I would tell you yes. If you ask me whether or not I think that somebody born into a family of billionaires will be afforded more privileges in life than somebody that is born in the projects of Chicago, I would say yes, because economic privilege in this country does exist. But there is no law in place that is stopping a person because of the color of their skin from gaining that economic privilege, which is why I do not believe that white privilege, which is based upon the color of your skin, exists.
Black poverty.
You see, that's the thing. That's, in a normal sense, in a perfect world, that's where the conversation should have ended. Because if you're talking about systemic racism, or you're talking about a country, you're designating a whole country as racist, you have to think, are there actually laws currently that are preventing some races from becoming successful? Or are there places that some races can't have access to, and the laws are ensuring that those things continue to happen? When you talk about systemic racism and you're designating a country as racist, these are the things that you have to think about first. You can't just be all up in your feelings and start saying things. You have to think at least. It's common sense, man. And that's what Candance is trying to say here.
Poverty and white poverty different? Do
No.
they face different?
No.
Is black poverty and white poverty different? Do
No.
they face different?
No. Poor is poor.
That's a lie. white people are more likely to be in rural poverty, which is different than urban poverty.
That's because black people don't live in rural parts of America.
What?
That's because black people don't live in rural parts of America.
Why? Historically, why? Why did black people flock?
Because of Lyndon Baines Johnson, urban planning, central planning, great society, where he said, we are going to verticalize the black community, destroy the black father, introduce drugs in the late 1960s, subsidize single motherhood, which used to be 22% in the 1960s, which is now 73%. Only a government program could make something like that happen.
Did it have anything?
You see, he made a very good point there. Another thing they like to ignore in the black community when they start talking about these America racist and systemic racism stuff is the fact that a lot of the things that the government did immediately after, not during and after the civil rights movement in the 60s, a lot of the policies they implemented cost or contributed to the downfall of the black family. And if you are a person that has sense, you know that a community that can't stick together, first of all by the family, then as a community, things will always go wrong. And many of the things that the government did, like giving free stuff to women just because they are single mothers, that's just basically encouraging them to end up like single mothers. Then they ended up like they ended up as single mothers and destroys the community. And what did you get? Exactly the situation that they are in right now. But what's going on? Someone is calling them and telling them that they are still being oppressed by white people. But if you check every single law, you'll find out that every single right that a white person has, a black person has it right now. Are the white people ahead of black people based on the fact that white people were free when black people were still slaves? Yes, that's for sure. But it has been a long time after that. After slavery ended, after segregation ended, enough time for us to start seeing serious black people taking matters into their hands, educating themselves, becoming serious and doing things that white people do. Nothing is restricting you anymore. I don't know why you keep blaming racism. Racism exists everywhere. It's not gonna go away just like that. Man, come on, man.
To do with the lynchings in the South and the hostility towards black people in the South?
Well, first off, you say...
Is there any reason why they left the South for that reason?
Just so everybody knows, literally one-third of the people that were lynched in the South were white Republicans. So Republicans were being South as well. So let's not pretend that if your argument, if you're asking me, it seems like you're no, I just responded. You said it was a dialogue.
Does it have anything to do black people leaving the South and going to inner cities and other...
He just answered that question for you.
No, I said, does it have anything to do with the KKK,
very little to
lynchings,
yes,
and violence in the South that black people faced?
So what it has to do with is the fact that black people continue...
No, answer my question.
No,
very little to
Does
nothing.
it? Yes or no?
Very little.
You're not allowing
Answer.
me to... Listen, you're not going to be like... You're not my boss.
You
So
guys
don't
do
tell
the
me
same shit.
Don't
You
tell me
guys
how
talk
I
over
have to
people all the
answer
time.
your
I was just
question,
over there
okay?
with you shutting people down.
Nobody's intimidated from you telling me how I'm going to answer your question.
I'm not trying to intimidate you. I'm
You're not
trying to
going
have an honest
to cut me off,
conversation.
okay?
No, I'm trying to have an honest conversation, which you
Why don't you
guys do not
stop
want.
exercising your invisible white privilege and let the black girl talk for a second, okay?
That's nice. No, this has nothing to do with
Okay,
that.
so to answer your question,
So white privilege
everything
exists.
that you're talking
Wait.
about- I said invisible white privilege.
Does it exist
I
then?
said invisible white privilege. If you listen,
Of course it's
okay?
invisible.
So
White privilege
first
is
things
not a
first,
tangible
white
thing.
privilege does not exist. Economic privilege does exist, okay? If you're asking me, do I think the black community has been crippled economically, the answer would be yes. It has been crippled economically by Democrat policies. You just heard
Who
me
cares
say that
who
in
does
there.
it?
I
Democrats
care,
are
because that
Americans.
tells you-
Democrats are in America,
because
so
that
therefore
tells
you just admitted
that tells you-
that there has been disadvantages
it
by
is not
two
race.
black
It
people
is
by
not- it is-
Democrats
it
who
is-
are
Oh my God, this is a mess right now.
not
American.
based
You
off
just
of
admitted
the...
it.
It is not based off. You asked
No.
me if white privilege exists. The answer is white privilege. Because you're born white, that means you're going to not have this or that. It does not exist. No, it does not
You just
exist.
admitted that the Democrats,
Shut up.
the boogeyman Democrats,
They're not boogeymen. They
disadvantaged
exist.
the black
Boogeyman
people.
doesn't exist.
No,
60 years
Democrats
ago.
do exist.
they did it.
So
60.
boogeyman means doesn't
They did
exist.
it.
Just so you know, there
We're
are
talking about
Democrats.
So
today.
you admit that it exists.
60.
I don't think you're comprehending. You're not.
So,
you're not
let-
I'm
comprehending.
not sure that you are.
He doesn't want to comprehend he's not listening. He doesn't want to listen. Political debates in America right now have gone so far to a point whereby nobody even leaves a room to be able to be convinced by the other party anymore. All you come to do is argue. You argue no matter how much sense. In this argument right now, they both make sense in some areas, not every areas. Of course, Candace is arguing more logically than the guy, but some of his points also make sense. The problem is just that liberals like to encourage people to remain victim in their head, of course, in just their mind. They like to encourage people to remain victim instead of to encourage people to go out there and change their situation. That's the problem people have with liberals. When people start arguing with liberals, the liberals think they are just trying to say, no, it doesn't exist. You are just creating some kind of stuff. Yes, most of the things that liberals talk about, they exist. But the problem is that they are not that important for us to start bringing them up every single conversation that we have, because they are just holding us back and they are making people lazy, not giving them the right idea, which is getting up on your feet and work for your own success instead of going out and shouting for white people to give you freedom that they don't even owe you at all. That's just the problem.
You said
60 years ago, white people had it better than black people. Over time, there's no more systemic laws that are in place. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What can a white person do that a black person cannot do today in today's America? Name one thing.
Well, black people.
Answer the question. Isn't that how this works?
Fucking question. Black people who smoke
You don't have to cuss though.
marijuana, black and white people smoke marijuana at the same rates. Yet a black person is 3 to 4 times more likely to be put in jail for that.
Okay.
And I know the reason why, because the police are in the urban communities. It's easier to police those communities.
Because actually, I had a girlfriend. I had a family member who got a DUI, and I had a girlfriend who got a DUI.
Just to let you know, by just saying what you're saying and standing up here and knowing what's going on through police brutality, through injustice,
I
all
love
this stuff.
I love that behind me. There's like black people rolling their eyes, but the 2 white guys are yelling at me, telling me that I don't agree with them. This is what I love about white liberals, right? Like they know it's so important for them to sell us our oppression that they'll come up and tell us we're a disgrace.
All right, guys, this I'm gonna end it here because it's getting into the kind of argument that I don't like right now. So that's gonna be the video. I promised I'm not gonna make this video too long. So they both had some points, though. The thing about I'm strictly conservative, by the way. I love the original ideas of the conservative movement, or the conservative thinking, should I put it like that. So I always tend to lean on the conservative side, and I'm probably biased, a little bit biased. We're all humans. We're all biased in some kind of way. So that's just the thing, guys. The problem I always have about with liberals is they base their arguments too much on emotions, and it's just a problem if you're trying to argue about something that could effectively change people's life. It's best if that argument is based on logic and practical thinking, not just what you feel or how you feel in the moment, because feelings change, and what you liked yesterday, you can end up regretting liking it today. So that's just the thing. All right, guys, please subscribe to my channel, drop a like on the video if you like what I'm doing here. If you have any idea of any video you want me to react to, please drop the link on the comment section. I'm gonna open an Instagram account when I start if I'm fortunate enough to start having regular viewers. I'm gonna open an Instagram account where my viewers can drop videos they want me to react to. So guys, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, drop a comment, give me your opinion. What do you think? Do you think my analysis was was justified? Do you think I was wrong about something? Do you think I misunderstood something? Drop a comment. And I've been talking too much. You guys have been great. See you next time.